Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer with Oculus Rift Reviews, now with Windows Mixed Reality as well. Today we're going to review Master Bladesmith VR, a game released on the Steam Store February 3rd, 2020 by developer Elixir Games. It's available for all the major VR headsets. It normally retails for $30, and I got a free Steam key through the Steam Creator Connect program to review this game. It is in early access. Master Bladesmith is a little weird. I would call it an action game mixed with blacksmith simulation type gameplay. And the best part is definitely the blacksmithing part, the bladesmith part. Although the action part can be kind of fun as well. Beware though, this game is very slow to start. So, during my first few hours with this game, I tried to make several things, and it was just constant failure after constant failure. Once I got to level 5, though, it seems as though now, more times than not, I'm successful in what I'm trying. And keep in mind, I've just been trying the lowest level stuff. I was really happy when I finally made the crude dagger, which was like the first real weapon that I made from scratch, with actually having to use metal ores. But it did take a long time to get to that point, and that was preceded by just constant failures and frustration and almost wanting to give up on this game. But it did definitely feel very satisfying once I did make my first weapon. There is a sense of accomplishment within this game once you start rolling and start making those successful items. But definitely, I think this game probably needs a better fine-tuning at the start, because at the start it can feel like a grind, and it can be very frustrating the way it's set up. So there's lots of parts to this game. There's the mining. That's probably my least favorite part of this game, is the way the mining is set up. So the way that it works in this game, and I didn't show any gameplay because I didn't find it interesting enough, but basically you buy these mining gems, or these magical gems, whatever you want to call them, energy gems, and you put them on this machine in the mining area, and that powers up the machine, and the ores will get processed from that. So you just got to keep feeding it these crystals in order to power up the contraption, the machines, for you to be able to get enough ores to start making some real stuff. Unfortunately, the way it's set up, it's like I said, you're just basically buying the energy to feed the machine, and then you're just waiting, which I didn't find that very satisfying. I kind of wish that you were able to physically mine yourself, and maybe just use money to get better tools to mine. Maybe give you a limited time to mine, and with better tools you're able to mine more. I would prefer that kind of setup versus the way it's set up now, which it just feels like a long grind, because you're just waiting. I believe I forgot how long it goes, but I believe I had it up to at least 30 minutes, and that's 30 minutes in game, and it felt like a very long time just having to wait in the game that long in order to get all the ores that you get from using the full energy on the machine. There's also the shop, and from there you get all the different little elements that you need, and once you have enough, you can start making items. You can get money by doing this time chamber challenge, and basically you block arrows and you use your sword to take down all the targets, and you also use the bow and arrow for certain sections. And the thing I didn't like is the way that everything goes in slow motion after you hit it. It kind of gets in the way, because stuff starts flying everywhere, and it takes down some stuff, and then you think, well, do I still need to shoot it? Do I still need to break it or not? And you're unsure. I was not a big fan of when you hit something like that object seems to flip around, go around in slow motion. It kind of ruins the pace of what you're trying to do. And definitely early on, what happens is that your weapons break. So that happened to me. That's where I'm stuck right now, is just my weapon always breaks. So it's not so much that I can't get further into the challenge, it's that my weapon just keeps breaking. Although I did get a new weapon, so I still have time to trying to get used to that, trying to use the new dagger that I have to progress further within this time chamber challenge. And like I said, there is a lot of depth to the different parts of this game, so I haven't gotten very far in the time chamber, so I'm sure it might get more interesting, the farther you get into it. I just haven't gotten farther enough to be able to report on that. I do know that the way the mining is set up right now, that probably needs some rework, because the way it's set up now is just not very fun. The most fun for me was the blacksmiths, the crafting, whether it's making your first bow and arrow, which I enjoy doing, but as you'll see from the video, and I think you just saw it a little while ago, I experienced lots of bugs when I was trying to create my bow and arrow. I'd suggest before you try to make anything at all in this game to save. Make sure you save first before you try to make anything. I experienced several times where I lost items. There's some funky physics that happens at times where items will just fly and they might not come back. Sometimes I was able to find them and they were in my bag. So you lose an item, you look around, you can't see it. It turns out it was in your bag, which is great. But some other times I just never saw the item again. I have no idea where it went. So it definitely sucks when you lose an item that you paid good money for or spent some time trying to make. So definitely save before you try to craft anything, especially early on when you're going to have so many failures. So what I did was basically I would save, I would attempt to craft whatever object I was trying to make. If I was successful, then I would save. If not, I would just quit and restart and start all over again from the beginning of the crafting process, because early on you just don't have a lot of money and you just don't have enough supplies to make enough stuff to level up. And it definitely hurts when that happens, when you spend some time and money and effort to make something and it's a failure. And yeah, it's just frustrating. So definitely save before you do that. That way you only lose a little bit of time that way versus losing the time, a lot more time and a lot more money with those failures. So there is a chance of failure even with the lower tiered items, which to me didn't make a whole lot of sense to have such a high failure rate for the lowest tier items. I did notice though, once I got to level 5, I seemed to have more success, so maybe leveling up with experience with doing the time chamber helps. I was a little unsure about that, but it definitely is fun using all the different tools. So just in making this dagger that you see me here making, there's lots of steps involved. You have to make the handle, you have to make the hilt, you have to make the blade, and there's something else that the pommel, you have to make that, and then you just put it all together. Altogether, it took actually a long time to make this simple, crude dagger, but it definitely was very satisfying at the end, and I can't tell you how happy I was when I finally saw that dagger in my hand. It felt like a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into that. So at the end of the day, yeah, I had fun. It was frustrating at first. There were lots of bugs, and like I said, the video early on showed some of those bugs, with items flying, items disappearing. I would get stuck in certain places. I wouldn't be able to move. But it is an early access, and what's there is really good. With all the blacksmithing games I've played in VR, I can honestly say this is the most fun. There's just certain aspects that I think can be improved, and like I said, mining is definitely the biggest thing to me that can be improved, and the second biggest thing would be, getting rid of all these bugs, maybe making the base tier items not so difficult to make, because you want to start the game and you want to be able to make something really quick, and it's just so frustrating in this game where you try to do that and you just fail, constant failure, which is not good. But once you level up, once you start making some things, it definitely becomes a lot more fun. And it's definitely a satisfying feeling once you make something big like this. Like for me, this crude dagger was a big moment, and I was very happy about that. So overall, I did have fun playing this game despite the bugs, despite the issues that I mentioned. And if I had to rate it, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I do recommend it. I had fun, and I can't wait to see where this game goes in the future.